thank you, Joel, for having me on. And our dairy farm is this is our 50th year of farming. My parents started it. Currently, I'm farming with my brother-in-law. Our two wives are involved, and I have a son and daughter that are on the farm. And my brother-in-law has a couple kids that come back in between colleges, and I also have another daughter that they all seem to work on the farm. It's a family farm. We milk 600 cows. We have about 1,200 head. We crop 2,000 acres, so we grow a lot of our own grain needs as well as our forages.
And I know you're in the far northern part of New York State, and I enjoyed the chance to be there last December. And you're not north of the Arctic Circle, but I think we could see it. It was a clear day.
Yeah, we're pretty near there.
Yep.
So it's a little warmer now if you want to come back.
I'll bet. Our topic today, we're going to talk about official ID for dairy cattle, which is it's been near and dear to the DHI system for many years. On July 6th, the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service of USDA, known as APHIS, put into the Federal Register a proposal that would make RFID ear tags the only approved ID for cattle in interstate shipment. Public comment is invited until October 5. This proposal really would disallow the use of the standard metal tags that have been used for a long time, used for decades. Alan, at your DHI meeting, your annual meeting in Savannah, Georgia in March, just before the coronavirus got us and shut everything down, your delegates passed a resolution on this topic. Just talk a little bit about that activity there.
Well, ID is something National DHI has been working on for well over 15 to 20 years. The cost to fix an ID on an animal when you don't have the right ID, it'll amaze people that we spend millions of dollars fixing IDs throughout the system, be it the Council on Dairy Cattle Breeding and National DHI or other locations. But so the proposal to go to the 840 tags, when the original motion came out, it was to include RFID, but without the backing of the government and some funding for switching to the RFID, the members felt that was too much of a burden to put on the farmers after the number of years we've had low milk prices. So the motion was amended and changed to just include the 840 tags. So I was hoping that with the APHIS coming out with the recommendation for the RFID, that it would also include 840. It would be very nice to marry everything together and have just one system to work with. It would take a lot of the confusion out of it.
Your reference to 840 means that in a numbering system, the 840 stands for the U.S. in an international ID system. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. So animals that were shipped or transported back and forth across the border to Canada, they have a different number. But the 840 number is a 15-digit number. And there's been some issues with that and some of the programming. And I know Holsteins had some problems with the 840. They've had to make some adjustments. And I think there's some other systems that the 840s have been a bit of a challenge. But over the years, they've overcome those and we're making them work.
National DHI, your organization, has issued a release supporting the proposed APHIS regulation, and in fact, you're inviting all dairy producers to support this effort. Just tell me a little bit more about what the National DHI position is.
Well, the National DHI position is that any change going forward would be a vast improvement over what we've had in the past. It is getting it narrowed down So that window that was so wide with so many different numbers and metal tags and numbers that really had no meaning or you couldn't see, that this is a vast improvement. And RFID tags, we've been using them on our herd since we started genomic testing, and we were one of the first herds when they let it be used by dairy producers to start testing animals. So we've taken in and been using RFID with 840 tags. We do use it for management on the farm. We weigh every calf when she moves pens, and we have a reader, and we use that to tie it in with the scale, so then we can download and move everything very simple and easily right into our on-farm software program. A lot of people are using the RFID tags with handheld tablets to do their herd health. So I mean, RFID tags are very handy to have, and I think once people get over the initial shock of having to put them in and get the system up and going and all tied together, I think they'll be very pleased with it.
I would assume National DHI would hope that there might be some funding support for this kind of transition.
Well, it is an election year, and we all are assuming a lot of things, but that would be my guess. That like the metal tags that are handed out to the state vets free, I would assume that these RFID tags will also be going to the farmers. But there's a whole lot of assuming going on in this conversation right now.
I understand. The APHIS document in its background comments emphasized the traceability of animals, so that in the event of a disease outbreak, there could be very prompt traceability back to the farm of origin. Is that a factor from your point of view?
Oh, I think that's a huge factor in keeping the beef market flowing to the best of our ability. I mean, I kudos to Michigan and their whole program. Everything in Michigan has to have an RFID tag, and that's for their TB problems. But Michigan's way ahead of the rest of the country in their traceability. I think there are some other countries in Europe that are ahead of us. But yeah, being able to trace back a mad cow disease or any other disease that could pop up, it would be, if we could do it in a 24-hour period, that would be amazing and wonderful.
While the APHIS document in the register does not mention this particularly, we've heard some discussion that some of our customers, offshore customers, international customers for U.S. beef and dairy are beginning to show interest in traceability too, from a food safety standpoint. Have you heard some of those discussions?
I think we heard a lot of it a few years ago when mad cow disease was spotting up here and there. But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? And this day and age of COVID-19 and everybody wanting to know where their meat came from and traceability back to the farm or even the country, the origin of the animal. I only see this as getting more and more stricter.
Sure. As we wind up, we'll say that on the National DHI website and on our dairybusiness.com site, we will include the fairly long web address where people can make comments on this proposed regulation. And we'll be sharing that and making it available. In the meantime, Alan, we want to thank you for speaking with us.
Not a problem. It's a joy that we can visit with you on the computer, and it's a whole new way in the world of doing things.
Amen. Just as if we knew what we were doing. We're
Well, I
speaking.
don't want to go quite that far, but I did have to have my college daughter get this set up, so we're just going to plead the fifth on that one.
Good for her. Good for her. Thank you, and thank her. We're speaking with Alan Chester, a dairyman and cattle breeder in New York State and president of National DHI. He's up in Lisbon, New York, in the northern part of the Empire State. And I'm Joel Hastings for DairyBusiness.com.